What's up, boat gang? Welcome back. Regala Marine RC. We've got the Lizard out today with a brand new, this is a 4088. It's a Castle 1520. Now running a single 6S pack, GPS inside. And I don't know about you guys, but have you guys ever built a boat that's so good that it ends up being kind of boring? Because I feel like that's what happened with this Lizard. Is I built it as a 4S P-class boat. You know, it's doing 60, mid-60s, maybe 66 miles an hour was the best I got last time out, right? But it's just a little, you know, there's not a lot of kV, so it doesn't make a ton of sound, and it just was not really exciting. So I had a 1515 2200 kV on 4S 2P. So I've since switched the setup. It's now a 6S setup, 6S 1P on a 6000. I did fix the steering from last time, so that's cool. And excited to see what it'll do. Gonna get the handling right, avoid any turtles today. Got 2 sets of batteries. Hope the boat gang's doing good. I've been a little busy. I've had back-to-back interviews and actually landed kind of my dream job. So I start that in a couple weeks and pretty excited for that. But I got it's a 645 3-blade. Ooh, okay, she's a little frisky. Probably gonna have to adjust the trim because I was messing with that quite a bit. .645 prop, which is what I had on here before. Oh yeah, she's fast. I can tell right away. I'm just checking for water cooling. 2 very solid streams of water. It's a 1650 on 6S now, which should be good for about, come on, turtle, go down. Should be good for about like 5,000 more RPM than what I had, which should make it pretty fast. If I can get this baby turtle to go down, we can start opening her up a little bit. Anyway, so yeah, excited for the new job, new beginnings. I have probably some new boats that'll be coming to the channel. Holy smokes, she's fast. That's like half throttle. Good God. Wow. Holy Toledo, you guys. Wow, she's fast as hell. Yeah, that's not even, I'm not even hitting full throttle. Let me start the GPS just to see where it's at. So I used a speed calculator based on the slip. On Offshore Electrics, they've got a speed calculator. And I based it off of like 10% slip because that's what I was getting on 4S before. So according to the calculator, I went slightly smaller on the prop. I should be at about 70 miles an hour, assuming I can stay in it. So let's start the GPS and see where it's at. All right, GPS is going. This thing's kind of a handful. I'm probably gonna need to make a couple adjustments to it just because we're going like so much faster now. And then I think I told you guys I had to mess with the steering a bit just to get the trims all centered up and try and get just a nice long pass, see where it's at. You can tell this thing's got a lot more RPM. All right, let's get a nice long pass in. Whoa, okay, she was starting to fly. Yeah, she's fast. Wow, she's getting frisky, boys. Wow. Yeah, I wasn't able to hold full wood for very long there. It gets a little light. Probably gonna make a trim tab adjustment. Since I've already got the battery forward, maybe a little bit of trim tab. I could always add a little negative to the strut 2. Let's see where it's at. Okay, so that was 69 so fine miles an hour. And I adjusted the inside trim tabs down about the height of the trim tab, so maybe 0.5 millimeter or whatever, just to settle it. I wasn't really able to go full throttle there. I wasn't really able to hold it. Doesn't seem to be making any heat. I felt the water coming out of the rudder, and nothing was even warm. So let's get the GPS going and give it another rip. Let's see. Hoping that was just enough to settle it down and stay in the throttle for a second longer. Get a little more speed out of it. Doesn't take much, turtle. Doesn't take much once you get it close, but see if we can get her to settle down. Wow, holy smokes. This thing's gnarly. Look at this. Wow, okay. So we were getting it there. Let's see if we got any faster. Interesting. Okay, that was 67, which again, for all intensive purposes, is plenty fast. But I want to get it really controllable, which it is. It's doing well, but those are some big speeds, and I want to just continue kind of fine-tuning this thing. Yeah, she's coming alive now though. Life. Yeah, she gets a little squirrely over the waves. Definitely gets a little squirrely. Wow, okay. That's fun though. That's a good. Oh yeah, she's coming out of the water. So I'm kind of feeling like this prop, this big 3-blade prop, I feel like it's generating a lot of lift, because it's like the whole boat is coming out of the water, not just the front end, but the whole thing is getting light. And so I'm thinking I might end up switching prop styles, maybe going to something with less lift in the back, something like an ABC prop with a little bit of negative thrust angle, because right now everything's neutraled out. But it did 69, 67. I'm feeling the bottom of the boat. I'm feeling the water that comes out of the cooling, and there's no heat in anything, which tells me that we're probably, if anything, a bit overpowered on this setup, which is fine, right? Because we still gotta tighten this thing up a little bit, keep it from getting too wild. So I'm gonna switch packs. I do have one other prop to try. I'll probably stay here, try and move the battery a hair more forward and see how that goes. All right, so this battery, the new motor, new battery did kind of move my CG around. The motor's heavier, which is at the back end. And then the battery, the single 6S, is actually lighter than the old 4S packs. So I was able to move the battery slightly forward, probably get a little more appropriate CG. And I got the GPS in there, so we'll see what she does now.
That round's pretty good, huh?
Not bad, huh? Thank you. All right, so now she's a little more stable. Look at that rooster tail. A little more stable. Likes that forward CG. Still got the trim tabs where they were. And that was a fresh battery, so let's see where the speed was. All right. So that was 68 miles an hour, but very stable. CG probably closer to like 31%, which is where I would normally want it. Battery's pushed all the way forward, and a little bit of tabs on it. 68 miles an hour, very stable. Just kind of checking the right attitude. The boat made almost no heat, so I'm curious to get the data logger and see where the amps are at. The boat's making almost no heat right now. There's like 3/4 throttle maybe. Little left trim into it. Yeah, so the boat's making no heat, which is good. Wow, that is fast though. Pretty impressive. Now, I know technically this is only about 2 miles an hour faster right now than my 4S setup. But just keep in mind that that old setup, the 4S setup, was running pretty loose at those speeds. That was not a saw setup, but it wasn't, you know, my whole goal is I want to be able to run laps and have a little extra power. And you need that extra power because you got to run it a little bit wetter if you want it to be stable. Wow. Gets a little, it wiggles around. You guys got to remember, this is only a 32-inch boat. This is only a 32-inch boat, so it's a relatively small, it's not even like a full P class, which would be 34 inches. It's on the smaller side. Wow. So obviously, take a little bit of end point out. Obviously, I've got to drive it a little bit, right? I can't just hammer down, or maybe I could, but it's a little scary. But it's making a little more noise, and it's a little more exciting than it ever has been. It's God, it's a little scary. Yeah, it wiggles and it boogies, but damn, the ride attitude's good. It's jumping nice and, oh, God, that was close. The ride attitude is good. It's just, all right, I think we might have hit a soft voltage cutoff there. Probably serves me right. Oh, man. All right. Well, that's really it. 69 miles an hour was the best. It's got 70 in it. Obviously, power is not going to be an issue at all on this setup. I've got room to prop up. And it's just going to be an issue of keeping this thing stable and happy on the water. And kind of woke the boat up, which is what I wanted. It's not drastically faster, I guess, but it's also running much more wet, and I'm able to run it faster because it's not so loose. The 4S 66 mile an hour setup. Oh, so here's some big birds, some big geese. The 4S setup was fairly loose, and so it was good for getting GPS numbers. But I knew that if I tried to, put it this way, if I ran the 4S setup as wet as I'm running this setup right now, that setup would be like low 60s probably. Definitely got some more heat in it this time, so we will temp it. No smoke, but plenty of heat. This shifted. Yeah, a little warm. Luckily, got data logging. So let's see where everything's at. Well, I got you guys here. Probably also burned through a lot of grease. 112 on the batteries, 111. Motor end bell is 117. X8S is hard to see it, but maybe 118. Probably ran out of grease on the stuffing tube. Yeah, everything's pretty in line, you guys. Everything's pretty happy. That was 68 miles an hour on this setup, running pretty wet, plowing a good amount of water, decently stable. And yeah, that's the new motor, 1520 Castle with the 15 series Hydra jacket. It's roughly a 40 by 88 millimeter. It's on an X8S, but this one is a converted version because I had this cable soldered onto it. A little bit of water. We clearly burned through all the grease in our stuffing tube, but fully custom lizard, and got a little bit of a longer stinger on it, and it's a Dr. Props. So yeah, I think the boat's becoming a little bit more entertaining for me. So I'm having fun, which is really what counts, and got plenty of room to prop up. So we'll kind of see where it takes me, but thanks for hanging out, you guys. Catch you on the next one. Peace.